Welcome to the Patriot Prepper podcast. I'm your host, Grizz. Thanks for joining me today. I always appreciate it. Today I'm going to cover a few notes that I jotted down while driving home yesterday. They involve, prepping, being alert, situation awareness, mostly prepping, of course, but I thought I'd quickly relay them to you. So let's do this. The first one is a short comment on a lot of YouTube videos I see about everyday carry bags or go bags. I see mole knives or other types of weapons being exposed and ready for anyone that walks by to grab. As you know, if stuff's really hitting the fan, we want our weapons where we can use them, where we can access them and use them if necessary. So my suggestion to everyone out there is, if you have a knife, whether it be a mole, fixed blade, or a folding knife, have it readily available towards the front of your body, so you are aware of who's approaching you and or your weapons. Second item I'd like to pass along is I suggest you all get maps of your local area, whether it be of your home, whether it be of your bug out location if you have one. And a great suggestion for you is the USGS maps. They're topographical. I suggest you go to the USGS website. It's the United States government mapping site, if you will. They have great topographical maps, all broken down into squares. You find yourself on the map, the main map that is, and you can tell fairly shortly, a few clicks and searches, where your house is at or bug out location is, and at least order that map. I myself did 9 maps with the map of my homestead here right in the middle, so I have 3 maps in a row creating one large map. I've cut the edges and tops accordingly so the maps all meet up real nice, but I still have the scales and the lat longs. So this gives you a great idea of what's around you, where people can go, where they'll be traveling, possible lookout posts that other people may have, or where you can put lookout posts. So I recommend you get those maps of your area just so you know your surroundings. Third one is ham radio. If you do not have your ham radio license, I highly recommend you get it. Yes, when stuff hits the fan, many non-licensed ham radio operators will be out there, at least listening. Getting your license teaches you the concepts of, radio wave propagation, what frequency band is best for local coverage, what bands are used for long distance coverage, etc. So getting the license gets you comfortable with how to use that radio. So get your ham radio license. Technician license is the first one. Fairly simple and easily understood material for the average Joe. So run out and get yourself a ham radio license, and then search Amazon for handheld ham radios. A popular handheld ham radio is the Bofang. It's like $28. Getting a ham radio is easy, or your ham radio license is easy, and the ham radios out there are fairly cheap. Yeah, you can go thousands and thousands of dollars if you want to, but you know your budget and you know when you can afford one. So, but the Bofangs are like $28. You can't go wrong. They go in a backpack and run on AA's. I mean, you can just solar charge the batteries, and you can at least listen to gain OPSEC information or situational awareness. So, fourth one, don't store bleach. Boy, I learned this lesson. When I first started prepping, I had 8 gallons of bleach ready to go, ready to clean and sanitize and purify water and all this. Well, I didn't do my research back then, and I learned that bleach loses its power, if you will, to do just that. So powdered calcium hypochlorite is the way to go. It's powdered form. They use it in pools. The key here is not to get any calcium hypochlorite that has dyes or any other additives. You want pure calcium hypochlorite, and this stuff goes a long ways. What you do, you use the powder to make bleach liquid, and then you use that liquid for your purpose, whether it be the clean water or to sanitize, etc. So you can store 10 pounds of this, and I think I calculated it'll do over 200,000 gallons of water if that's your purpose. So I recommend you look into calcium hypochlorite instead of storing bottles of bleach. It certainly stores longer, and it stores much, much easier. Fifth one here on the list is think solar. No, I'm not talking about going off the grid, having 1 million panels and $30,000 of batteries in your basement. What I mean is just think solar for simple things. Lights in the house. LED lights now are very inexpensive. Look on eBay, you'll find LED strips, both the soft ribbon and the hard strips and metal channels. They're really cheap. Run off 12 volts. They don't need much electricity. I think a nice strip of LED lighting that I used to build wall light for every room in the house here, it runs on 7 watts. 7 watts. So solar is the way to go. Just for simple things, you can make many little systems, or you can make a larger bank and then feed the minor items off of that. But think solar. Solar is the way to go. And the reason I jumped on this is because apparently I haven't done this yet, so I'll probably come back with y'all for information on it. But you can buy dry batteries that have never had the acid added to them. There's never been any fluid, so the plates are clean. And what you can do, you can buy these dry batteries, and then when you need them, you can fill them up with the appropriate fluid. So once you fill those batteries with fluid, then they start to degrade and age. So buying the dry cell batteries, you can keep those stored and not worry about their longevity until you need them. Then you fill them up, and then you're off to the races. Okay, many of you out there aren't quite into firearms like I am, but if you're not, I highly recommend you at least please buy a 22 long rifle, a small gauge shotgun like a 410 shotgun, a 20 gauge shotgun. You need a firearm. Buy the firearm, receive training, because you will need a firearm if stuff hits the fan. It's just a reality. If you do not have a firearm, all what you have, all what you've worked so hard for, all what you've stored may be gone in a blink of an eye. Now granted, having a firearm doesn't guarantee all your stuff will never be taken or marauded or overcome. There's no guarantees anywhere, but having a firearm can show force, can show that you are willing to defend, and allows you to defend your family and your belongings. So I highly recommend you get a firearm of your choice and receive training. Learn how to operate, maintain, and shoot that firearm. Make sure the whole family's involved. Make sure no one's surprised if they have to pick it up and use it. So please, look into firearms if you have not already. Okay, number 7 of my wild thoughts on the drive home yesterday. I prepare off-season, meaning I prepare for winter in the summer, and I prepare for summer season in the winter. I live in a multi-seasonal place, obviously, so I prepare for the season that's coming up instead of the season I'm in. Hopefully this makes sense, because you don't want to go into winter and say, I need cold weather gloves and pants and boots. You want to do that before winter arrives. And especially those that live in the winter climates, big blizzards can hinder your ability to go to the store, go get supplies, or work on that prepping project you've always wanted to work on. So prepare off season. Keep kind of ahead of the game before the season arrives. And the last one I have here is I recommend you hide your supplies. I'm not going to go over ways to hide your supplies in case those toads, those marauders listen. I don't want to give you any ideas over the podcast here, but look around your house, look around your property, just look everywhere, places that you can tuck important supplies to. or into. Well, I'm almost rattling off ways to do it, but I just don't want to. We each have our own little unique areas or homes or structures, basement, outbuildings, property. You need to safely hide some vital supplies in case your location's overcome and marauded. So there you go. I talked about 8 things today right quick. Talked about, making sure your knife's not accessible to anyone else when you're wearing your EDC or go bag. Talked about getting maps for your house or bug out location, hopefully topographical maps. Talked about getting your ham radio license and purchasing a cheap handheld ham radio. Talked about calcium hypochlorite instead of storing liquid bleach. Talked about solar, just small things, lights, just for morale purposes, safety purposes, security purposes. Talked about firearms. If you do not have a firearm, please get one. 7. Prepare off-season. Get ready for that season ahead of time instead of during that season. And last, hide those supplies. So thanks for joining me again today. I hope this helped. Please send me emails, comments, suggestions, anywhere I'm listed. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, here on Spreaker. Glad to hear from anyone out there that has any ideas or suggestions and stuff you have learned as well, so I can pass that along to the others. So I leave you with this. It's better to have and not need than to need and not have. God bless America.